Let's start out with Lizzie.
Woohoo.
Whoop, 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 whoop. So, as we know, our NBA season is about to start. It officially starts on July 30th. But right now, the players are all down in Orlando, Florida, during in the bubble. They're quarantined from everyone, even though we just had a player come out of quarantine to go to the script club in Atlanta. But
Who was that?
on the team facilities where they're practicing and everything, a lot of teams have put Black Lives Matter on the side of their team buses. And so on a TNT show last week, um, uh, Draymond Green, who plays for the Warriors, sat down with Charles Barkley and with the GM from the Toronto Raptors, and they were talking about Black Lives Matter. And Draymond asked the GM for the Raptors this question.
You guys have on your bus Black Lives Matter, and as a Canadian team, it doesn't directly impact your team because you're in an entire different country. What made you guys take the stand and put it on your bus? I think one of, 22 teams that actually went through with it. Where did the idea come from, and why did you guys feel the need to push that through?
Hey, Mom.
My question to the panel is Black Lives Matter only for Black Americans, for people in America? Can Canadians claim Black Lives Matter? Should Canadians be thinking about Black Lives Matter, or is this just an issue that belongs in America? We can
Well,
start
I'll
with
start.
Jam. Jam, you can go.
Thank you. Thank you. There are only blacks in America. So as a result, it does not affect any. Once you leave the America, there aren't black. There's browns, there's greens, maybe yellows.
Colored.
Are
It's colored.
yes, there's several different colors. Like no blacks though. So that's why. That's why. I'm done. I'm done.
Z.
No, I think that's so dumb, honestly. Like, didn't the whole world come out and protest with us, with us as a country when George Floyd was murdered? They weren't Americans. Were we like, ew, why are you protesting for us? Like, what? That's so dumb. I think that if the more people who have huge platforms, the more entities that have huge platforms that reach millions of people, that gets the message out there, what does it matter who it comes from? Like, and this goes back to our discussion a couple of weeks ago of what constitutes black. What is black? Like, I think at this point it's a human rights issue, and it just so happens to be the human rights of black people, and the whole world should be behind this. I don't, man. Give me a break. I thank you. Thank you for putting it on your bus. Represent.
All right. So here's my take. I mean, Draymond, it sounded to me like Draymond was, I don't know, like he wasn't prepared. So I don't know that he thought his question through all the way. It felt like he kind of like, I don't know. I have a feeling that after the show, somebody pointed out to him, and he was one of those people who was like, "Oh, dang, that was just stupid." I know, but some people just aren't used to like being on TV because Draymond, he does his little interviews after his games and everything, and he kind of just does it off the cuff. But a real interview like we do and stuff like that. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I know after the show I'm looking at something and I'm like, that was just a dumb thing to say. So I believe that Draymond looked at that and was like, that was just stupid.
No.
Well, one, I think personally that it's kind of reflective of how Americans view themselves, not just Black Americans, but Americans in general. We tend to have tunnel vision. We tend to believe that everything that happens in this country is exclusive to this country and it doesn't affect anyone else anywhere. And like Jam said, it gives you the idea that there are no Black people in Canada, that there are only Black people in America. Americans. And so one of the Toronto Raptors, that's the defending NBA champions, one of their players, tweeted out to Draymond, hold on, man. So for all Black Canadians, it doesn't directly affect us. Aren't we all fighting the same thing? Racism is everywhere. I respect you, brother, but we go through our battles too. So I think that, is again reflective of how people outside of America kind of view us as kind of selfish and just kind of one-sided when it comes to certain issues. But I guarantee you that, Canadian, Black people in Canada, or people of color in Canada, or
Canadian.
Draymond.
That's where I wanted to go
Canada.
in February. Canada.
people of color in Canada and Canada, but also all around the world, have been coming out in support of Black Lives Matter. There have been murals in other, foreign countries, the Black Lives Matter mural. So would he say then to people in Africa that they have no right to, especially, let's say, take South Africa, for example, that went through a country that went through years of apartheid, and now they are saying Black Lives Matter. Does that not apply to them as well? Because this is supposedly an American issue. So like Neo said, I think, sometimes, like I just did with Canada, sometimes Draymond gets a little tongue-tied. But then I think sometimes he just says foolish stuff that really thought out too much.
I think it wasn't thought out. I really think he didn't really think the question out. I mean, it was a valid question. He was asking a valid question. Basically, he was trying to ask, he was saying that he felt that it wasn't a significant thing in Canada. Obviously a big thing. The protests are really huge here and things like that. So he's saying that, since it's a big thing right now in the U.S., it's not a big thing there. What gave you then? What inspired you to put it on your bus? Versus,
aren't they driving through the U.S.? Aren't they coming into the U.S.?
Yeah.
And don't they have?
They're here.
Most
he was trying to get.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get confirmation, and he was trying to get something a positive response. That was his way of trying to garner.
He was trying to get clicks. He was trying to get clicks and social media attention. That's some dumb stuff.
My take on what he said was a little different.
Completely different. I was going to be like, oh my God, $10.
I thought she said something.
My take on what he said was a little bit different. Because when he said was only one of 22 teams to make that decision for the Raptors, my take was he was sort of commenting on the fact that there weren't other teams stepping up. And so instead, I think he was
trying to make
how he delivered it.
Distinction.
But he was trying to be like, y'all stood up where no one else stood up. He just did not put it as eloquently as most people who speak the English might have.
So that's how I feel. Jam, you put it. He was just trying to make a distinction, but he just didn't do it well. He just made that. Yeah. But he does say some stupid stuff a lot.
Well, maybe we'll never know.
Which is why I don't think he was being as thoughtful as Jam is insinuating. Jam, but as it pertains to Draymond, I don't think he's there yet.
Wait, hold on. Draymond, give my money. Now, as I was saying, Draymond was...
But I mean, Z, would you care to elaborate on him just wanting clicks?
It did sound like she said. I had to listen twice. It did sound like something else.
I mean,
He said, "Listen, look. I think a lot of people do it. I think we could. I know I've done it here on this very show. You say things for the likes. You say things for not the likes, but the attention. Hey, I said something crazy and it's attracting. That's really what I think. Because somebody could have told him, could have checked his script.
I got Corona groupies. I mean, I do it from all my groupies out there. They might be disease ridden.
That's right.
but
That's right. That's right. No, I think he could have had someone check his notes before he went on the air.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. We got anything online, Jan?
Oh, we got a bunch of stuff online. We got Kevin, puppet question. Rebecca, no and yes. They should. The whole world has to stand up for the world's people. And Chris, watching from Connecticut right now, on his way to Maine. with nothing but love for Jay. Thank you, Chris.
Oh God, really?
Ooh, get out of here.
Let's take a moment to appreciate.
You better send me some notes, Jeff. If you're watching, I know you're watching. You better send me some love too.